Cause when it pop off, it's like, oh my. All good all day, but the night we be going so hard on the flip side. So tell me what we on a day, babe. I could keep that same energy. When you go low, I go low too. But you'd rather stay high, I know you. Can we stay high, babe? I'd rather be on that wave. Tryna control our emotions. If we on the right side of passion, we could share love in the ocean. But if you wanna go insane either way, baby, we could go all night. We could do it all night. We could go all night, all night. Do we heal, do we bleed? I'ma follow your lead, but we could go all night. Now all of my calls go to voicemail. I block you so I don't raise hell. Should've talked through it in detail. Our separate ways ain't gon' end well, no. But when we get back, it's like, oh my. All bad all day, but the night I get that good till we act right. So tell me what we on today, babe. I could keep that same energy. When you go low, I go low too. You'd rather stay high, I know you. Can we stay high, babe? I'd rather be on that wave. Tryna control our emotions. If we on the right side of passion, we could share love in the ocean. But if you wanna go insane either way, baby, we could go all night. We could do it all night. We could go all night, all night. Do we heal, do we bleed? I'ma follow your lead. We could go all night.
I've been calm, cool, collected, but you pushing on my nerves. And I know in your intention, I'm under pressure. Okay, I'm admitting that a couple things I said got acidic in the tone. In the presence, I get careless. Long as you know I come with imperfections. When you look at me, you see the soul through my flesh. You something special. Know you looking bomb, the way you dress it, gone flex it, hold it still and let my mind digest. You got the leverage, you got the upper handle on the situation. You worthy of a million more of the storms that we weathered. We fight retreating this, but you trying to kill the cycle. When nobody stressing that body like me, I know the way you like it. I treat you like a queen, run the castle, you a treasure. Feel like
lights off, transparency on. Late night marriage with the riches. Late night marriage with the riches. You need that real talk, this is what you want. Lights off, transparency on, let's go.
Hey, what's going on, fam? What's going on? Welcome to Late Night Marriage with the Riches. I am Damon Rich.
I am Tamika Rich.
And we are so happy to have you. I don't know what's going on with these lights here, but I don't need to get no darker. Hey, we hold on. Let me make sure my mic. Oh, I'm on the wrong microphone. Everything. Let me make sure y'all can hear us, but you ain't hearing us the right way. Now, how that's working? Hey, just one of the moments. Okay. Oh, well, that would explain it.
It's not plugged in.
I got the wrong thing plugged in. That's what's wrong. Sorry, folks. Sorry. We're so sorry.
Ta-da!
Got too much technology going on here. So, let's try that again. Welcome to Late Night Marriage with the Riches. I'm Damon Rich.
I'm Tamika Rich.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah. This is one of those get your notebooks out type sessions. You're going to probably see a whole lot more of those with us coming up as we get ready to do something. And I'm going to have a special announcement on this episode that not even my wife knows about. Something that's going to be dropping on Sunday. You guys will see the invite and you'll be able to do something special starting on Sunday. We're going to bring you in a little bit closer. You're going to get an opportunity to get a little bit closer. It's going to be your shot, your chance. Okay. But I'm going to be dropping that here close to the end of the episode. So tell a neighbor, tell a friend that Late Night Marriage is here in the house.
It's on again.
It's on again. Some of you might be have, I don't know. Some of the people might be on the other link. I don't know what happened. For some reason, technology was just technologying today, tonight. So anyway, I want to talk about a magical 6 hours and how 6 hours can really transform and change your relationship. How it can transform your relationship. And you can get down, like I say, a piece of paper. You can write it down. You can get yourself together and say, man, and do the math. And you're going to see how 6 hours more or less can change your life. So tell a neighbor, tell a friend to join us in the building. We're going to give it just a minute before we get started. How's your day today, babe?
My day was wonderful. Yours?
Good. Busy.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
a
I have
different.
no complaints. It was a good day.
Yeah, no complaints. It's a different type of busy today, but it was busy to say nonetheless. It was busy. Different type of busy, but busy. So I cannot complain
Good. I guess
at
that's
all.
a good thing.
I won't complain. I don't know. I don't know if that's the song or not. You know, I'm saying them old school song. Yeah.
Yeah. Try a different one.
Oh, okay.
Wrong
Wrong key.
key.
Hey, don't be trying me
No,
now.
I'm not saying that you.
I
know
feel
you can
like
sing
I
and
feel like you
everything, but
trying me.
No, of course
I
not.
feel like you trying me.
I'm
That's
just saying that's probably not your song. No, I'm not saying that you can't sing.
y'all hear how she talking about me?
I am
It ain't my
not.
song. It ain't my
Honesty and transparency, right?
honesty and transparent. Okay, all right.
Well, you
Let
said it first.
yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you some honesty and some transparency then.
You said that's. I was just agreeing with you.
You just cannot get that microphone together, Key.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's great. You keep turning your head away from it, so it can't be too great. Yeah, people got to hear you.
They can hear me.
All right, cool. Hey, let's get into these magical 6 hours. We want to talk about these magical 6 hours, and I can't wait till the fall because we're going to be making some changes to late night marriage. The lounge is open late night, but we're going to move that late night up just a little bit, just a little bit, so that we can, be good to go. But I want to talk to you about 6 hour, how 6 hours can really transform your marriage. You guys know I've been sharing ever since we did a certain episode about this journey of friendship. And it's still, y'all scream at me later, it still feels weird to say my wife is my friend or that's where I'm headed. But I think I'm getting the concept down. See, even as a marriage and relationship coach, I'm starting to get the concept down of friendship. Because to be clear, I do believe, and we're going to be doing some stuff here, a few episodes coming up for the dating people who are out in these dating streets. We're going to give you some information about dating healthier. And so to get that desired mate. But to in the dating phase, in the first initiation, I think that there should be some friendship. And I'm talking about healthy friendship. And a lot of us don't even know what healthy friendship looks like.
Right.
So it's hard to even say from, oh yeah, we're looking at healthy friendship, but or you should have friendship in marriage, but you may even have an unhealthy friendship in the dating phase. And that's going to lead into unhealthy friendship within the marriage phase. So
For sure.
you've got to have a healthy friendship and know what that looks like. We read this book and we refer a lot of people to this book called Relational Intelligence by Dr. Darius Daniels, which was transformative for me and us. Yeah, as we read it about friendships and how you look at friendships and how those things kind of go out. But we want to talk about, like, yes, I believe that leading into marriage, you should have a friendship. But to me, once you get married, you kind of promote your spouse from friend to this something else. Um, Tamika has a different view of
From
that.
friend to best
Uh-uh.
friend.
And we ain't gonna go that far. We ain't gonna go to best friend. I don't think y'all can handle best friend status. But anyway, but Tamika and I differed on the view. And you said something, I was thinking about it as I was preparing and just thinking about what we were going to be talking about tonight. You said something about, like, where you've heard people like, oh, our friendship is what sustained our marriage. And for some reason that came to my mind. And I had to think about that. If your marriage gets to the point where the covenant is in trouble, how exactly is the friendship going to sustain the marriage? Because if the covenant isn't enough to sustain the marriage, I don't understand how the friendship is.
Right. I think you would have to really
Is your mic on?
um
I'm going with no.
now it is.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Now it is. I think it's a bigger or deeper issue than that when you say it, because a lot of times when you don't fully understand what the covenant is and only have an idea, then it's kind of easier.
Slow down, son.
It's easier to say that
Mm-hmm.
when you think about it that way. And then I think it's the perspective and what you are talking about. So when you're looking at marriage, you're not necessarily looking going the covenant and what we entered into. You're thinking about usually the circumstances and the problems and the issues.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you got to see beyond the hard times.
Mm-hmm.
And friendship gets you through that, because you be like, oh, I might want to poke his eyes out and I'm mad at him and this is not there's going to be better coming, because you're just in a moment sometimes and you think about, oh, this is marriage, and of course this covenant is forever, but in this moment
Make it make sense to me, because and this is just how I'm
Right.
I'm wired. For me is I'm going to walk away from a friendship before I walk away from a covenant. So, and that's just how my mind is wired.
Right.
Because if you think about it, there are a lot of people who enter into marriage, whether they're in covenant or not is a whole nother story, but they walk away from friendships. If their friends don't care for their spouse or whatever, they like, hey, we've been friends since pre-K, but if you got a problem with my spouse, you got a problem with me. So therefore our friendship is in jeopardy or our friendship is over.
Right. If it's a really true friendship,
Yeah. I've seen some really true friendship.
or good friendship. Yeah.
I done seen some, because it's like, if I have to choose between my spouse and you, even though we've known each other forever, then I'm gonna go this. Because I've also seen the reverse. I've seen some marriages be in jeopardy or end because I'm not walking away from my friend who been my friend since we was this and that, since we was knee high to a grasshopper.
Right.
And so now I prioritize my friendship over this covenant.
And you definitely shouldn't do that.
So, it goes whatever. But that's a different discussion, a longer discussion.
Because we're talking about friendship in marriage.
Friendship in marriage, but the friendship got to start somewhere.
It
So
does.
we're going to jump into the 6 hours that can change your relationship. 6 hours. I want you to get out your pen, your pencil, your notebook to take some notes, but I also want you to do some math, because I ain't gonna lie, when I saw this, I had to add it up. Is that 6 hours? I had to add it up. Is that 6 hours? And when I added it up,
The math was math.
the math was mathing. It was 6 hours. And these are some, while I have not gotten to all of these, because I'm still learning about them to a certain degree, in terms of I see the value in them, but I want to make sure I don't just do it by the book, but I do it in a way that's authentic to me and authentic to us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and sometimes it starts out feeling a little uncomfortable,
Right.
but you start getting there and then it becomes natural.
True.
It becomes natural for you as you get the concept. So we're going to talk about these 6 hours. We want y'all to get your notebook, do the math, write the notes. So one of the things that you can do to help strengthen the bond in your relationship, build that friendship, is you have to have a daily goodbye routine. And we talked about all 6 of these in different episode, but we're going to go deeper. You have to have a daily goodbye routine or a parting routine.
Mm-hmm.
And that is 10 minutes a week, 2 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Because there's an assumption
Mm-hmm.
that you are together on Saturday and Sunday,
Right.
or you're not, or however your things, whatever your weekend is, if your weekend is in the middle of the week, what have you, because of the type of work you do, that might be a different thing. You do shift work, whatever.
Right.
But it's assuming 5 days a week, 2 minutes a day, for a total of 10 minutes for the week.
Mm-hmm.
And what your parting routine is making an intentional effort to learn one thing that is happening in the life of your partner. Right?
Okay.
Making an intentional effort, not just on autopilot, being intentional. When I say I'm studying this and I want to do what's true and authentic to me and what's true and authentic to us, if I just come in and I just were to ask you like, hey, what's one thing that's on your mind that you got to get done or whatever that, or that's troubling you or something that you got to carry with you through the day. And I just ask you that question like, oh, okay, then. And then be like, I'm out of here, give you some kiss, whatever, we out. That isn't true and authentic, but it is supposed to be an effort to learn about your spouse and their world. And you really just take one thing. They may have 5 or 6 what's going on with them. Now they may tell you 2 or 3 things and you can even take those 2 or 3 things. How I made it true and authentic for me and to us is to ask you, what's one thing you really got to get accomplished? What's one thing that's heavy on your mind that like, I got to get this done today? And if you give me 2 or 3, that's fine too.
Right.
And then I might ask you a question. Okay, which one or what is it? Or why is that important? Just get some clarity. And then how I make it real for me is then I take the time to lean my forehead, connect with you skin to skin, and pray for your peace, for your not being a distraction, whatever you was laid on my spirit for you regarding that thing, I pray with you aloud. And then after I pray, it's like, amen, give you a kiss, I'm out of here. Right? That feels authentic to me. It's not necessarily that's most comfortable to me. But that is most authentic to me because it requires what the uncomfortable part is. It makes you slow down and be intentional and think about what's on that person's mind, what's on their heart, what may be troubling them for the day, what may even be their victory for the day, right? So you can check in, also giving some accountability. Like, how are you doing with that? The thing for me is that as I do that, what I have noticed start to happen to me, because you will call me in the middle of the day like I ain't got work.
Of course I will.
And you'll be calling me about stuff that ain't about them one things. And if it ain't about that one thing, I'd be like, I've noticed I'm a little shorter with it, but if it's about one of the one things, then I'm a little more patient. I'm still work in progress, but I'm a little more patient because you already told me that there's something important to you. That's told me that there's something that's on your to-do list that will make you feel accomplished if you get that done. So now I have to be a little more patient. Like, okay, can't talk to her right there. Hey, babe, let me call you right back because you talked to me about the one thing, or the thing that you brought up.
You know about it.
Exactly. So it makes you it helps me keep you more front of mind than allowing you to fade into the back of my mind in the midst of my busy day. Now, if you call me about something that ain't that one thing, That's fair game. Fair game.
It's
Um,
fair game.
That's all I'm saying. It's fair game,
Right.
right?
But just get back on track.
Yeah,
Focus.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. It's like getting back on track, staying focused, doing the thing that you need to do. That little caution sign gonna drive me crazy because I can't stand that it ain't working. But anyway,
Oh.
I digress. Uh, I digress. Anyway, so that is the one thing is you got to have a daily goodbye or parting ritual,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got to be something that's authentic to you. 10 minutes a week, 2 minutes a day, 5 days a week.
Not long. That's easy.
Not at all. It just requires you to be intentional
And do it.
and do it. The next one is you got anything you want to say about that before we move on?
Mm-mm.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. All
No,
right.
that's a good one.
The second is the reconnect or the reunions. This one we hadn't been able to really get into because somebody like to be up late and somebody else like to go to sleep. Ooh.
Oh, I know you like to stay up all night.
Uh-huh. You know how I do it. I'm a night owl. Older I get, the more my night owl is fading away.
Mine too.
But girl, you almost made me say so. But the reconnect or the reunions is about 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, an hour and 40 minutes a week,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So
20
we-
minutes a day,
So we adding up this time. right?
5 days a week, which gives you 140 minutes a week. Here's what that does. What the reconnect is about is, and you actually introduced me to this before I even got on this journey,
Mhm.
is the 6 second hug and kiss. I
Mhm.
think the thing you shared with me say do the 6 second hug and kiss or the 6 second kiss in the morning, and not saying you can't do it then,
Right.
but it's saying the reconnect is the 6 second hug and kiss when you get home. So we can do that.
Mhm.
We need to level out our schedules because it doesn't have to be at the very end of the night. But the most important thing about the reconnect has to do with the 20-minute stress reducing conversation.
Mhm.
And this is going to be interesting when we start practicing it. Because I think we do it without knowing it,
Mhm.
but it's not as intentional as it probably needs to be to get the fullness out of it.
Right.
So here is the 10-minute stress reducing or the 20-minute stress reducing conversation. Each partner gets 10 minutes to talk about anything outside the relationship that may have been stressful or maybe not. They just get to get off their chest. The listening partner does not get to interrupt, don't ask questions, just, okay, yes, all right.
No,
I
be
hear.
listening for real.
No, really
Yeah.
listening.
Right.
Really intentional, phone down, TV off,
Mhm.
really just listening and hearing what they have to say.
Right.
And when you sitting there and you're listening and hearing what they have to say, it's like really just digesting it, taking it in.
Mhm.
It's not for you to respond after their 10 minutes is up. Then the other person, it's their turn. Get your 10 minutes.
Mhm.
And again, it's important. It's not about anything that's going on in the relationship. Nothing in the house. You shouldn't even probably talk about anything in the house because that could lead back to something in the relationship or this and that. But it
Right.
is really stressors that may be happening, like
Then it starts an argument or
right,
yeah.
exactly, because it could be something like I was on my website today and I'm really been trying to work and get my website updated and this and then I still want to get that portfolio stuff off of there and I'm just waiting on you to do it, but as I look at my website, this and that, hold on, now
Mhm.
this is about us.
Right.
right? So it's about that 10-minute stress reducing relationship. Okay. Or conversation.
Right.
Everybody both sides get 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, when another person get that 10 minutes, they should not be bringing back up anything that the other person talked about in their 10 minutes as if it's a rebuttal. That's why you want to stay away from the relationship stuff.
Right.
You just like, oh, you got this going on, or, I was in the car today and the AC went out or something like that. That might not have anything to do with the relationship per se, unless that's already been a topic during the course of the day. Then it's like, I'm just reminding you. Then it's like, okay, this is not less stress.
Right. Kind of just lacks casual conversation.
Casual conversation, detoxing on your day. I was at work, this happened, or I was dealing with this particular issue, this stressed me out, or I noticed this great thing and I had this moment while I was doing something and I had this epiphany and blah, blah, blah. So it ain't all negative stuff, but it's just 10 minutes of talking and being heard, right? Stress reducing, that's part of our reconnect. 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Okay. Thoughts?
No, I think that's a good idea. I think when you say it, because if it's something you kind of already do, just make sure you're intentional and it's structured, not structured to the point where it's
Well, the reason
overly structured, but where you aware of some of the things that you probably need to do, say, talk about, and you make sure you get those 20 minutes in somewhere.
Yes. I think the whole point of kind of scheduling it to a certain degree is twofold. One is to make sure it happens. So we have a routine. This is, we know when we get to the house, before we jump into our evening, we're going to take these 20 minutes, right? So you get a break, right? The other part is to make sure that the other person gets their 10 minutes. Because you may have somebody who's naturally talking and they're just, but the other person be like, by the time they finish they done took a whole 20 minutes. It's like, I ain't really got time or energy to really share with mine, because especially it sounds like yours is so heavy. And if you don't have enough to say for 10 minutes, then say what you can, whatever is on there. And if that's 2 minutes, everybody not as talkative, over time that builds, right? But there are ways to get your 10 minutes. It's just how you think about it. Yeah. Okay. Number 3.
And you're saying, did you say right when you walk in?
Not necessarily right when you walk in, but
because I know sometimes it just depends. You want to do it as close to that as you can.
See, I think you're thinking about particularly when men say, don't hit me with stuff soon as I walk in the door.
Right. And not just men, even women too. It just depends on what you have going on when you walk in the door of the house. Because even as women or moms or wives or whatever, we'll be like, hey, give me 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that can be the case. I think what it is just making sure you have that. It's kind of like a transition point. We're back home. Whew, lay down, whatever. Sit down, let me breathe. Sit on the front porch in the rocking chair. Get them 20 minutes, and don't make it a chore.
Right.
But make it an actual reconnecting point. One of my friends, one of the heartwarming stories he often tell about his parents is about how his dad would come home, lay down his lunch pail, and hug and kiss his mom every day. He grew up seeing that, and how that impacted, influenced, and informed his relationship. What's important to him. So yeah,
that is important, and your kids should see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 3, appreciation and admiration. This one I've been trying to do. I think I'm going to have to physically do it. And it's about 35 minutes a week, 5 minutes a day, 7 days a week. So unlike the others that are 5 days a week, this is 7 days a week. Every day. And this is appreciation and admiration. It's about noticing something in your day that reminds you of a positive trait or something positive about your spouse in that day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I might see somebody that's being super patient, super helpful to someone when they had every reason to maybe not be. And that would be something that would remind me of you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So it is taking that moment to find reminders
Mm-hmm.
of your spouse in the day. Now, you can do that wrong and you can see somebody with an
Right.
attitude or acting a certain way. You could do that
Oh
wrong.
yeah, that
Yeah.
reminds me.
Yeah, that reminds me of my spouse. That's exactly what she'll do or say. And yeah, you could do that all the way
Right.
wrong. You can.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that all the way wrong. But
You're trying to find the positive
you're
things.
trying to keep the positive. Keep
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes what happens in relationships is we forget about each other. We go into autopilot and we start taking each other for granted.
Mm-hmm.
When you're actively looking for
And then you
reminders.
get right,
Hmm.
right, and then you get caught up, or usually have a mindset of all the negative things, or what they're not doing, or what they could do better. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
that usually consumes you more so than the positive things, or the things that you like
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are, and it's those reminders because I think also, at least this is how I process it in my mind. Sometimes when you feel like you haven't seen some of those positives in a while and you see something that reminds you of that, it's your choice about how you process it. Like, she ain't even like that no more. Or you can say, man, I missed that about her. I wonder what I could do to just bring that back out.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything I can do to help bring that back out in her or something like that? So it's like looking for the positive and choosing to
Mm-hmm.
see the positive instead of the negative.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's just something you do internally or for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. They tell you like if you might want to journal it down
Mm-hmm.
so that you can remember, like, hey, I saw this today and it reminded me of you. You know, and it's really, this is the thing about it because it's 5 minutes a day. What it really requires you to do is take a moment to be mindful. So it's also um, self care.
Mm-hmm.
It's also being taking care of your mental health because in order to take that in a little bit, you kind of got to slow down
Right.
your day and focus and clear your mind and just take in your environment. And
Mm-hmm.
as you're taking in and observing your environment, then you might um, then it gives you that moment of 5 minute clarity break, so to say.
Mm-hmm. Right.
and
Yeah.
and you're
Really
choosing to
listening.
put your spouse there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listening for certain things that you may not listen for when you're kind of on autopilot or distracted
Mm-hmm.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it could be one of those things like I mean, on a negative standpoint, you could have did like I did today. This wasn't about you, but you walk into Starbucks bathroom and somebody, a grown adult, done pooped on the floor. Hopefully that ain't reminding you of your spouse.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no.
I'm sitting here like, how do grown folks miss a whole toilet bowl?
Mm.
Just anyway, that they probably ain't even white they tail. Anyway, anyway, um,
Long as that didn't remind you of me, we're good.
yeah, it did. It did. It would have. I. You know what? It did. Different way though.
Oh, okay.
It
That's
did.
true. I guess if it was a positive,
Uh
even
huh.
though that was negative,
No, that's a
I
negative. The positive way,
mhm.
because I called you immediately because you'd have been like, "What in the world?" Like, they did that. Now I know you probably wouldn't have did this, but you'd be wanting to do them people job and clean up. But
Yeah, not for
yeah,
that one
yeah,
though.
not for that one,
Mm-mm.
not for that one.
But
Right.
I'd have told somebody.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I went and told somebody. I almost didn't tell nobody, but I went and told somebody.
Mm-mm.
But my not wanting to tell them was less about I knew they was gonna have to clean it up. And I just felt bad for the employees.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like all the little bright-eyed employees, and they look, oh yeah, they're so happy and cheery back there trying to serve them drinks, and I'm about to tell them, hey, it's poop on the floor. Yeah, I didn't want to bring that day down.
I was about to say you didn't want
Yeah.
want them to have a bad day.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite baristas that I had to tell, and she's like, "Hey, David." I was like, "No, I already ordered. I just want to tell you something." She's like, "Okay," and she's like smiling, and then I told her, she's like, "Oh." Hey, listen, my
Change the whole mood.
whole mood. My Starbucks has some of my favorite baristas. They good, and I just feel like I hate to tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do we almost done. Number 4 is affection. 35 minutes a week, 5 minutes a day, 7 days a week. This one is super simple,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to get better at it. Just snuggle. 5 minutes a day.
That's
Some of it
it.
is you come to bed late, but just snuggle. Get a snuggle in. 5 minutes.
That's right. Hold me accountable.
35 minutes a day. 35 minutes a week, 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Get some snuggle time in. You ain't got to say nothing. I ain't got to be trying to make no moves.
Mm-hmm.
Just
That simple.
just that simple. That skin to skin contact. Just that simple. Get a snuggle in. Okay. Cool.
Right. And I think that's just a start because sometimes some people get that affection in other places or other times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the small, simple touches, in your back or on your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
Same.
That's
If it's
true.
30 seconds, count them up, a minute, whatever.
Don't be counting.
Like,
Don't be
put your
counting.
timer on.
Yeah. Don't
Tell-
do that. Don't do
I'm
that.
teasing.
Don't do that.
No.
Number 5. Let's talk about this one. 2 hours a week, date night.
Mm. Let's talk about this one.
Go ahead. Talk about it. I'm gonna look over here while you talk.
Nah, look in the camera.
I'm looking in the camera.
We're just gonna say we have to do better
Yes.
with date night.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And date night can be one of those easy things too
It can
to
be.
do. Yeah,
Yeah. Date night it
it's
comes.
just doing something together. To me, I mean, there are times where you intentionally should do something outside of the house or plan something, go somewhere,
Mhm.
something like that. But it doesn't always have to be. And I think a lot of times when you take that stressor away, because people, go date night and you're stressing, and so you're trying to come up with something or make it a little harder than it can be or should be.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you be like, hey, ask your spouse or ask what would you like to do if you want to do something. Then as you know them or getting to know them,
Mm-hmm.
surprise them or say, hey, we're going to do this
Mm-hmm.
or that.
Mm-hmm.
Check their schedule, make sure they're free,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of plan something to do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Date night. 2 hours. 2 hours. Let me get my calculator. Because I'm gonna add this up.
We making sure it's the 6 hours.
So 6 hours times 60 minutes. That's 3. Hold on. 6 times 60. So that's 360 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do the math in a minute. The next one and the last one is State of the Union meeting. And I can see how this will definitely help us when we can do this, start this routine and do it with continuity, meaning every week.
Mm-hmm.
The State of the Union is 1 hour a week where you discuss the concerns and fears
Mm-hmm.
within the relationship. I think having that and scheduling it and knowing that, hey, this is when we are going to talk about those things, it removes tension, I think, from the rest of the week,
Right.
because I know we have this time to talk about us or the state of the relationship or things we need to work on, things we
State
need
of
to
the union.
address, state of the union. By having that, you can come in with the right mindset, with the right intentions, with the right information, you know, as you learn each other and know, like, this is what they're going to care about when we're discussing this topic. I need to
Right.
make sure I'm prepared to talk about that. Whatever. It is really not trying to run it like a business, but it is having that state of the union conversation, knowing that we have dedicated time to talk about our challenges. And so now I don't have to fight for it unless it's something urgent, like right in the moment. Other than that, I can put it down for my State of the Union agenda.
And if we're doing it that often, we're not saving it up.
Yeah.
And then it's a whole 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Or it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you finally get it, or it doesn't, it's not really one of those intense moments of fellowship.
Yeah.
Because now, we have a problem or issue or someone blows up. So that's why the conversation is starting.
Yeah.
Instead of it being an intentional conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So those are the 6 hours.
Oh, and
Go
that's
ahead.
just the hour. So that hour alone would do wonders.
That hour alone can do wonders. Can do wonders.
Yeah. Everything else benefits now. But to actually sit down, be honest, and talk about
absolutely,
the relationship, the marriage,
uninterrupted, undistracted, 60 minutes, talk about business, right? And I could almost see that one being one of the ones where you want a timer, not because you're trying to, like, man, I can't wait till the 60 minutes is up, but more of saying, being very intentional, like, so that we now can be almost laser focused about what the issues are, and we somewhat cut out some of the time wasters or the space or whatever. It's like, I gotta now, at least this is how my brain works. Now it requires me to get really specific about my issue or what I want to bring up. So I'm not just kind of meandering around the conversation. Whereas when you're not very specific and the time is nebulous, it's like, oh, I can just kind of go round and round in circles, but never really address what my concern is.
Right.
But if I'm not clear about what my concern is, then they're probably not going to be clear.
Right.
So it requires me to actually put effort into preparing.
And being straight to the point. And it's already going to be a heavy conversation. So definitely setting a timer, because sometimes you have to have that hour, leave it there and kind of step back.
Yeah.
And then come back the next week or a different time.
Yeah.
And I think if you schedule it before the next week, or you feel like we need to address something sooner, that of course you can do that.
Yeah. Because this is
but it's going to be heavy. So it's the hard conversations that usually we or marriages or people have problem with having.
Yeah.
And so you skip over them until things build up and, the rug is high and all the stuff is swept under there before you address it or deal with it.
Yeah.
And then there's no way you're going to be able to do that in an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to do the math. 6 hours. This is how we get there. I'm going to start from the bottom. State of the Union, 1 hour. That's 60 minutes. Remember, 360 is the goal. Date night, 2 hours. And these are not hard and fast. If you go a little under or a little over, don't make it about the math.
Right.
But I want to get to, hopefully you see the value in setting these as your minimum thresholds to a certain degree. Right. So 2 hours of date night, that's another 120 minutes, right? So we have
how many 2 hours a week?
2 hours a week. So that's 120 minutes. Then we have 35 minutes for affection. Then we have 35 minutes of appreciation and admiration. And mind you, appreciation and admiration, your spouse may not ever know what that thing is, but it'd be good to share some of those days. But that's more even for you to change your mindset.
Right.
So that's 35 minutes. Then we have the Reconnect Reunion. That's an hour and 40 minutes. So, and then we have the parting or daily goodbyes, which is 10 minutes. And that gets us to 360 minutes.
Okay.
6 hours can change your relationship.
Yeah.
So we want you to know that this is a part of a greater workshop that we're going to be putting on later in the year. Look out for some information on that, but that's not the special announcement.
Mm-hmm.
I have a special announcement for you.
What's the special?
On Sunday, I've been working on it, setting it up, got to fine tune some things on it, but it's pretty much built. On Sunday, we're going to be dropping a link for you to join our new free community known as the Late Night Lounge.
All right.
Late Night
Yay.
Lounge. And there's a particular section in there called the Late Night Hangout. So what the Late Night Lounge is going to be about is it's going to be a community, supportive community for couples. You'll be able to join the community for free. This particular community will always be free. And here's the thing. Here's what you're going to get with the Late Night Lounge. You're going to get some more information. You're going to have a secure place that you can log into. So it's not like being out on Facebook. It's a secure place that you can log into.
Right.
Where you can ask us questions directly. There are some direct messaging and chat features in there, but also you can ask questions in the community. Other people in the community will be able to also respond to you. But Tamika and I are going to be in there giving you real life responses, coaching there. And because you're in the community, it's just going to be for free.
Yep.
So on occasion, we're going to pop in there and go live in the community, and we'll just have a live pop up in the community that we won't do on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It will be reserved just for the community where we can pop up in there. So we'll have those scheduled. We'll schedule them and let you know if you're part of the community, you want to be in there, and that's your opportunity. So a lot of times we are approached by people who want they want that relationship coaching. Financially, it's not something that they can sustain in that moment or what have you. We have a heart to help, but there is a time that it takes for us to help, and helping relationships is an emotional time commitment or what have you. And we're committed to that, but we know everyone can't necessarily pay for that, or they're not up to it, or they haven't prioritized their relationship to the point where they're willing to pay for relationship coaching. And that's fine. We got you. Because the Late Night Lounge is going to be where you can get in there, where we do live little workshops and stuff like that are for free. You can get in there and jump in that Late Night Lounge and go ham, ask us questions. If we say we're going to be in there for 1 hour doing Q&A on relationships live, you can jump in there, get in there for 1 hour live at no cost to you, which means you can ask any question that you want. You hit us up with a DM on there. We're going to respond as quickly as we can to help you out in the question that you may have, but there's not going to be a cost. Now, here's the thing. This community, this particular community, the Late Night Lounge, is open to those who are dating, those who are engaged, those who are even single, and you'd want to get better at relationship. You can come into Late Night Lounge.
Okay.
Once you jump into the Late Night Lounge, that's cool. Now, we're going to have some other programs that'll be available in there. Those will be paid. But the community, the Late Night Lounge part of the community, will always be free. Always be free.
Hey, we've been talking about this for a little bit.
We have. And I had something in my back pocket, and I've been deciding, okay, what's the best way to use this? And I have been working on it. And then it's like, okay, bam, this is the thing, the Late Night Lounge. So the Late Night Lounge will be opening on Sunday. And here's the thing, and we're going to put some information on it. You're going to want to go ahead and get signed up. And you know what? Might drop it before Sunday because Sunday night we're gonna jump in there for 1 hour, a free relationship Q&A. But you got to be a part of the community to be a part of it. So that's the game plan. That's what we doing. Late Night Lounge
So
is
look out
coming
for it
your
so
way.
You can join as soon as we put the link out.
Absolutely. And we're getting everything set up so you'll be able to come straight to Late Night Lounge, do your thing, and be like, yeah, this where we at. This was going down. So almost finished building it, constructing the Late Night Lounge. And when you hit the Late Night Lounge, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. So keep an eye out for that.
Add value.
It's gonna add value to your relationship, to
Mhm.
your life. It's going to be a great place for you to come, learn, get better at relationships. It's not going to cost you a thing. That's it.
That's it.
All right.
Awesome.
So listen, guys, we will catch you on the next go around. I don't have my little fancy button, so I can't hit the thing.
No music.
I can't get my music. Oh, there it is. Thank you for watching Late Night Marriage with the Riches, where it is lights off, transparency on. We are so glad that you have swung by to hang out in the lounge with us, and we hope that you will be ready to join the Late Night Lounge community.
Yes.
That's coming up.
Sunday.
We
Put it
dropping
on
it.
your calendar.
It might sneak out there a little early, but this gonna be that chance. This gonna be that opportunity. Get up close and personal. Get expert coaching at no cost to you. So do these 6 hours. Make your relationship better. And we will see you
Make it great.
on the next episode. God bless.
Night, and we love you for real.